نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah, we're here today on another lesson in Tajweed. We're doing the text Jamzuri or Tuhfat al-Atfal from Sheikh Sulaiman al-Jamzuri. Today we're in a continuation of the lesson where we ended off with Sif dha thana kam jada shakhsun qad sama dum tayyiban zid fi tuqa da' zaliman. And this is, who can tell me what the rule is for this? What rule is this? This is the rule of Noon as-Sakina with Tanween, and it's the fourth rule. Let's do a quick review. Okay, the first rule is Noon as-Sakina with Tanween. Noon and Tanween, right? Hello? Wake up? Yes. Somebody? Okay, so we have Noon as-Sakina Tanween. What's the first rule for it? It's Idhar, right? Yes. Idhar is the first rule. What are the letters of Idhar? Hamza, Faha. Don't look at your notes. You don't have to look at your notes for this because you're supposed to be memorizing this. Everybody's supposed to be memorizing it. It's Hamza, Faha'un, Thumma, Aynun, Ha'un. Muhmalatani means it doesn't have anything over it. Then we say Ghaynun, Kha'un. So that's 6 letters. 6 letters of the what? Throat letters. 6 letters of the throat. Okay? So then the next one, what's the next rule? After Idhar, what do you have? You have Idgham. Idgham, what are the letters of Idgham? Yarmaluna. Right? Yarmaluna or Yarmuluna. Okay? Both of those are correct. Yarmaluna or Yarmaluna. And typically, Yarmaluna means to move quickly. Okay? It's to move quickly, to rush around. There are 6 letters here. There's 6 letters also. And we know Idgham is broken down into 2 types. Right? 1, 2. One with Gunna and one without Gunna. The board is wet. Idgham with Gunna and Idgham without Gunna. Right? The Idgham with Gunna is, what are the letters? This shows nobody's studying. The letters are Yanmu. And what's the Idgham with Gunna? Lir. And together they make Yarmaluna or Yarmaluna. The next rule after this one is what? Iqlab. 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 And this is the only letter it has is Ba. Okay? And the Ba. Miman bi ghunnatin ma'al ikhfa'i. And so that comes to our last rule, because there's only 4 rules in Noon as-Sakina wa Tanween, and the last rule we have is Ikhfa. And Ikhfa means a sitr. It is to make a cover, to conceal something. Like you have a sutra before you pray, or a sitara you have over your window so people won't look into it. But it is, as a practical way, it is to pronounce the noon, or with the letter coming, it fades in. Between idhar, right? Between idhar and that idgham. Between those two. So it's a fade in. We learned the letters of ikhfa just now. We learned them. What was the line of poetry? The line of poem, it says, وَالرَّابِعُ الْإِخْفَاءُ عِنْدَ الْفَاضِلِ مِنَ الْحُرُوفِ وَاجِبٌ لِلْفَاضِلِ فِي 5 مِنْ بَعْدِ 10 رَمْزُهَا فِي كَلْمِ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ قَدْ ضَمَّنْتُهَا صِفْ ذَا ثَنَا كَمْ جَادَ شَخْصٌ قَدْ سَمَا ضُمْ تَيِّبًا زِدْ فِي تُقَى ضَعْ ظَالِمًا. It said, وَالرَّابِعُ الْإِخْفَاءُ عِنْدَ الْفَاضِلِ. And the 4th rule, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. 3. And the 4th rule is ikhfa. And it is in the fadi, the remaining letters. The remaining letters. So we have 6 here, we have 6 here, we have 1 here. 6 and 6 is kam? 12, right? If add 1 is 13, right? Then that's 13, and the rest of this is fadli. The في 5 من بعد 10 رمزها في كلمة هذا البيت قد ضمنتها. So it's 15 letters, right? 15 letters. Yes. Right? So 15 plus 12 is plus 13 is kam? How much? 27. What? 15 plus 13? Yeah. Put a sutra for the lady if the lady's been. I said 13. 13. Or if I said 12, I'm wrong, but it's 13 plus 15. Do the math, guys, come on. 13 letters, right? 15, 5 and 3 is what? 8. Okay, so my 28 letters, right? So we should know, since we know the six letters of the throat, and we know the 6 letters of idgham, and we know the 1 letter of iqlab, we should be able to name the other 15 letters, right? And so we can, if we think about it. It's, you say all the letters that are not yarmaluna, all the letters are not hamza fahar, the throat letters, and all the letters are not bad. But it's in this word. We had it like this. Sif, the, thana. Thana, let's spell this right. No, thana. Kam jada, shakhsun, qad sama. Thank you very much. One person. I'm sorry. Dum tayyiban. Tayyiban. No. Zid fi tuqa. Or tuqan. In another narration, my sheikh told me. Da' dhaliman. Da' dhaliman. Okay? So now what we do with these letters here, with these words, is that we just highlight the letter that we are focusing on. Sad, with dhal, with tha, with kaf, jaim, sheen, dha, ta, fa, zay, ta, and dal. These are the, with seen, with qaf. Okay, these are the letters of ikhfa. And now we said, we did this last week. This is just a review. So now we're going to give an example of each one. Okay? We give an example of each one. We have sad. Let me write these letters down over here so we don't forget them. We put sad, say sad, dhal, tha, kaf, jim, sheen, qaf, seen, dal, ta, zay, fa, ta, dad, and dha. 15 letters. Now let's go through it and get an example of each one. Focus on that. And these examples, like I said, these examples and everything that I'm giving here are not for anybody just to sit here and say, okay, that was cool, I got that, and you move on. You can follow the lessons like that. Wallahi, it's nothing difficult here. We and the sheikh, the imam, we were just talking about it. All the lessons we took overseas and the different schools we went to and stuff like that, and the different shuyukh we sat with, none of the stuff was difficult. None of it. It's just detailed. It's very meticulous. You just have to put the time in and pay attention. But if you don't memorize it, it'll go away. It's not going to stay because it is so detailed that you can get it confused. Okay? So if you memorize, it's easier for it to stay with you. And if you teach it, it's definitely going to stay with you. Okay? Because through teaching, you learn more. You learn how to articulate it. You learn what doesn't work, what's confusing. And so let's go through this. And I was going through my book. All through this course, I've been using my own notes from this when I studied this text. And I had translated it into English. But I found this other book, and I found that some of its examples are easier because they have a lot of them from Juz Amma. Mine are from different places in the Mus'haf. And it's easier for people to stick to that. So I'm going to use a combination of both because I like some of the things that I did, and I like some of the things that they wrote in here. So I'm going to try to make it easy for everybody. The first letter we're going to deal with is Sad. If I say the letter, you say the letter. We started doing that a long time ago. We stopped doing it. I know a few people aren't here today, but you got to make up for their absence. And we got some other people here, so you bring in more noise, inshallah ta'ala, okay? And there's a barakah in that because other people watch these. More people watch these than come to the class. And they're relying on the people that's at the class to get it better than they get it at home. That's usually the thought. So you do your part and everybody motivates. You never know how what you've done has motivated the next person to take another step. So going along, we go Sad. Sad. Okay, it says here, now we're doing al-ikhfa. And the practical application of ikhfa is what I call the fade in. You fade it in. Okay? It's not like idhar. Idhar is clear and independent noon sound. Right? Because we're dealing with noon second and tanween. So this letter is going to come in 3 different ways. It's going to come with a noon in the middle of one word. It's going to come with a noon at the end of a word with tanween. Right? And it's going to come by itself at the noon at the end of the word with the sukoon. And we're going to have each one of those. And it's not going to be the independent, like man amana. Hesitation kills. Man amana. Yan'auna. See, that's clear. Yan'auna. Jurufun har. Oh, and sometimes I watch these videos. I just started watching them. I didn't used to watch them. And I see some mistakes, some little mistakes of spelling or something like that. Don't sweat that. Don't worry about it. Pay attention. We go over it enough times. You get the correct one and stuff like that. And if you have a question, just follow it up. Alhamdulillah. I mentioned that because one time I said jurufun har, and I said it with ha instead of a ha. And that's a mistake. It's jurufun har. Okay? But you see that jurufun, that noon is clear. The letters that we're going to do now, the sounds we're going to do now, they're not going to be idharan. It's not going to be idgham, mimma. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to have it. It's not going to dakhala shay fi shay. It's not going to mix in like that. It's going to fade in. It's not going to be iqlab, where we fade anbiya. We're not going to flip it. But we're going to gradually fade it into the letter. So, watch the first one. The first one is yansurkum. Yan. If we say yan, okay, but see now, we're going yansurkum, right? So you would say yansurkum. You see how you do that? You fade that into that. Yansurkum. And what we have here is we have a nun sakina going next to a sad in one word. So that is the rule of ikhfa. It's between the idhar and the idgham. It's between being clear and it's between being entered into the next letter. So it's faded in. You understand that? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So then we have alladhina hum an salatihim. Say an. Say an. Salatihim. Salatihim. This is a real good example because most people recite this surah, right? Salatihim. I'm doing Hamza. Okay, so now you wouldn't say an salatihim, you say an salatihim. You see, you fade in it. An. You don't go on. A lot of people pronounce the ayn incorrectly. It's not an. Now say an salatihim. And for those people who recite in Warsh, it will be an salatihim. That's for the people who recite in Warsh because the lam has a different rule. Okay? But for those people who recite in Hafs, it's an salatihim. Because we have a noon is sakina next to a sad, even though they're in separate words, the noon is sak. The rule is that you ikhfa, you fade it into it. You everybody following me? Is that easy? Rihan sarsaran. What do I have? Liman sabra. I like mine better. Okay? Liman sabara. Liman sabara. Okay? Hold on. No, I'm sorry. I made a mistake here. I don't want to give this example because we already covered that one. Okay? We already covered it in two different words. I want to do it again with the tanween. Sorry about that. So now we're going to do, which one am I going to use? Rijalan sadaqu. Okay. We have rijalun. Rijalun. Say rijalun. Because there's nothing here, so we have to pronounce the tanween clear, right? I don't hear your voice, Abdul Hamid. Abdul Hamid is representing Staten Island, Strong Island, and Bed-Stuy in the house. Nah, stuff a lot. Rijalun. I want to hear it loud. No, I didn't hear him though. Rijalun. Okay. Now, afterwards, now we're going to put sadaqu. Sadaqu. Okay? Sadaqu. So now it's no longer rijalun because they have a tanween next to a sad. So it's going to be what? What's the rule? What's the rule, people? The rule is ikhfa. That's the name of the rule. The rule is ikhfa. How do we do that? This is what I want from you guys. Because remember, we're almost finished. Believe it or not, Jamzuri is not a long text. And it's not a difficult. You're through the meat and potatoes of the whole text. Did you know that? When you finish noon and sakin and tanween, that's most of the subject matter in Jamzuri. The only other thing that comes after this that's long is madud, the med. Because it's 9 rules. But that's pretty simple. It's real simple. It just looks intimidating. So what you have to start doing, and this is the problem with the Western students, application. Not just learning. Everybody sits at so many different messages and classes and online and pal talk and go to this room. But can you do anything afterwards? Is there a practical skill that you've developed? And developed means piece by piece. You start off and you're a little clumsy. Then afterwards you get your bearing, just like riding a bike or skates or whatever it is that you like to do. You didn't learn how to do it in one time, but you practice. So you have to open your mouths and practice it. See, the rule is that you name the rule. Then you say how it's practically done. What's the rule? The rule is ikhfa, right? Why is it ikhfa? Because there's a tanween next to a sad. And sad is one of the letters of ikhfa. What's the proof? The poet who said in Jamzuri, the classical text, sif dhatana, sif, sad. Right? And he said, وَرَابِعُ الْإِخْفَاءُ عِنْدَ الْفَاضِلِ مِنَ الْحُرُوفِ وَاجِبٌ لِلْفَاضِلِ فِي خَمْسَةٍ مِنْ بَعْدِ عَشْرٍ رَمْزُهَا فِي كِلْمِ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ قَدْ ضَمَّنْتُهَا صِف. Sad. So we learn from this text, you see what memorization, and you start bringing this up, that the tanween, when tanween comes next to a sad, that the rule here is ikhfa. How do you practically do that? In Arabic, we would say, bayn an idhar wal idgham. You bring it between an idhar, which is to make a sound what in English? How would we say idhar in English? To make that noon sound independent, clear. To make a clear noon sound. Make a clear noon sound. Let me hear it. And we had a whole lesson on just noon. We wrote on the board, ben. Or ben, like this. Ben and bin and bun. Remember that? Just to clarify what noon sound was and what tanween is. Use that stuff. Or you get sent, we're going to get referred back and we have to start all over again. Go back to that stuff and learn how to use it. So there's a noon sound. That's saying rijalun. Then when you have a sad there, you say rijalun sadaqu. And you do it, it should take maybe 2 counts. Okay? Rijalun sadaqu. So then when the person goes, Rijalun sadaqu, is that good? No. They may do it. Makeen may sell it. He may even give it away in all those CDs. But is it correct? And that's what we're doing here. We're doing it the correct way. Okay? Rijalun sadaqu. So we got to get to the point. The point is to get that noon almost pronounced, then you start with the sad, within 2 counts. So we have one in one word. Yansurkum an salatihim rijalun sadaqu. The next letter is dhal, and we got to work a little bit fast, because as Sheikh Farid Abu Mujahid used to say, الوقت الضيق or قليل والواجبات الكثير. The time is little, but the obligations are many. So we have to, work hard. Okay? The next one that we're going to have, what do I have? I have the same thing. Is dhal. So we have mundir. Say mundir. Mundirun. But so we just finish it like that. Say mundir. You see the noon is sakin, it comes before a dhal. Like sif dha. So the dhal comes mundir. So then we have that ikhfa. That's the rule right there. The next one, we would have it in 2 words. So I say man dhalladhi. We say this a lot of times, right? After salah, we recite this. And before we go to sleep, we recite this, right? Man dhalladhi yashfa'u indahu. So we say man dhalladhi. Say man dhalladhi. So we say man dhalladhi. Not man. Let's say man. Ma. Mim fatah ma. Say that. You remember the lessons? All these lessons build on each other. When you forget, the teacher will take you back. Mim fatah ma. Louder. Unclick your fingers. Mim fatah ma. Right. So it's not going to be ma. It's going to be ma. Okay, man dhalladhi. You have to open your mouth. Man dhalladhi. tongue has to come out your mouth. As the Sheikh Qasim used to say, Qasim Ahmed, he used to say, it's teeth and tongue. Stick your tongue out. Man dhalladhi. Right. It's like Al-Jazari said, وَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ تَرْكِهِ إِلَّا رِيَاضَةُ امْرِئٍ بِفَكِّهِ. And there's nothing for a man doing it and not doing it except exercising his jaw. Yeah, it's going to be a little confusing at first because we're not used to talking like that. I can't even say the word talk except for say talk like a Brooklynite. I can't say talk. I can't say water like they say in Colorado. It sounds crazy. So it would take practice for my jaw to say those types of pronunciations, right? Likewise, if you have not been speaking Arabic or speaking it properly, it's going to take practice for you to fix your mouth up to say the certain things. So what? Everybody has to practice. The good thing about Arabic, it's not owned by anybody. Most of the Arabic scholars have not been Arabs. Most of the people who have preserved the language of Arabic have not been Arabs. Been Spaniards, Africans, Persians. But Arabs, there's only like one, Ibn Hisham. It's like the only one. But Sibawayh, he's Persian, which is Iran. You know, Ibn Malik, he's from Spain. Okay? You know, Al-Mundhir, you know, which is the largest qamus in the world. He's from Sudan. So where are the scholars? Bukhari's from Bukhara, Russian. Or what we used to call Russia. Okay? Muslim, Al-Hajjaj. So the Tirmidhi, Indo-Pakistani. These are the people that preserve the language. So it can't say, well, I'm not, Arab, I can't do this. That's not a good excuse. It's just practice. Okay, so man dhalladhi sawaban dhalika. Okay, let's look at it. Sawaban dhalika. So now we have it, dhalika. Sawaban dhalika. Ben, ba fatha ba. So you don't say ba, it's no ba. Ba fatha ba. Sawaban dhalika. The next one that we have here is tha. Okay, so the next one is tha. So we're going to say manthur. Manthura. Manthura. Not ma. Mim fatha ma. منثورة منثورة من ثمرات من ثمرة لا من ثمرات من ثمرة من ثمرة من ثمرة. Okay, the next one is going to be جميعا ثم جميعا جميعا ثم. Okay. جميعا ثم جميعا ثم. نعم. Or I like the one they had. They had one that's better than this one. They had ma'an. Okay, say ma'an. ثجاجة ثجاجة. That one's better than mine. I'll take this one off and trade it. Ma'an thajjaja. Because I like this one. This is more well known from people who recite Juz Amma. And this one you recite this just for a rule. This is going to be recited 4 counts. Okay? 4 counts. And this one's going to be how? How much is this? 2. So ma'an thajjaja. That's not 4. What do you guys? You guys count with a calculator? What's 1 count? Somebody tell me what 1 count is. Open and another one and close. It's just opening your fingers. So ma'an thajjaja. I think McKean, you can put on the internet when they put a counter here. When they say ma and start counting 1,000, like that. It's not seconds, so it wouldn't count, So that's a good one right there. Let's go on to the next one. It's calf, right? Calf. وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ عَنْكَ وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ عَنْكَ. You have a nun sakin next to a calf, okay? And this is how you write calf if you want to write the kaf with the little hamza in it, instead of doing that because, you're writing freehand, you just go like that. Okay, for everybody who doesn't understand why we did that. Okay, does that make sense? I think we covered that when we were doing the Arabic series, but just, remind the benefits to believers, inshallah. Okay, the next one would be, then it says, أَرَأَيْتَ إِن كَانَ. You see this? The nun is sakina next to a kaf. In kana. What are we doing? What do I say we're doing? We call it fading it in. So what are we doing? We're fading it in. That's what the practice, because you want to know practically, what am I doing? What am I practicing? Don't just do it blind, try to let the force lead you. Have a concept of what you're trying to actually do. You're trying to fade that nun into the kaf. In kana. And how much time do you have? 2 counts to do it. So you can't just drag it out and say, in kana. Is that proper? No. It's not proper. So you can't say in kana. You can't do that either. You have to take it in 2 counts. So the next one that we have here, I'm just going to use their thing. Here's the sheikh. ناصية كاذبة. ناصية. I should say ناصية. كاذبة. كاذبة. So here you have the tanween in the kaf. ناصية كاذبة. ناصية كاذبة. And see, even though we're just doing it like this, if you practice Juz Amma, you'll run into these things. Okay? Inshallah. So the next one is, after kaf is Jim. We're on Jim, and we're going to say, وَأَنْجَيْنَا 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 وَأَنْجَيْنَا. And I know a lot of people are accustomed to reading the mushaf where it goes noon and then it goes like this with a jim, this kind of connection. But this connection right here doesn't go when you're writing with your hand. So what you usually find people practicing is this. This is a script in Arabic because you can do this with ba, jim, kha, whatever you have to ta. So what you practice is a stroke up, down, and under. That makes what you want to do here. So we have noon and jim right here. Okay? And so this is when you start doing, we have another course called Teaching Reading, where we teach the stroke work of the letters. This is one of them, just like this. Everybody understand that? And like I said, you could do a ta on that. You could do a tha on that. You could put a jim, you could put a kha. You could put a ba. Depending on what you're doing. I know that I'm diverging to a sidebar issue here, but it all helps. Because everybody's at different levels, and everybody's trying to do the same thing. Master Arabic so they can get close to their Lord, right? Okay, so whatever little we can get, whatever good we can get, we get it. Okay, and let me get some of those more of these raps, please. Let me get some of those things. Oh, never mind, I see it. Never mind, I get it. So yeah, I got it. So the next one is wanjayna. Okay, then it goes min ju'. Say min. Ju' min ju'. Min ju'. We have a nun sakin here next to a jim. So we don't say min ju', we say min ju'. It's an interesting point. A lot of people pronounce min incorrectly. It's min. Min. A lot of people do it real thick. You have to make it kind of thin. Okay. Min ju'. Okay. The next one that we have here, min ju'in, is astaghfirullah al-azim. Aynun jariyah. Very good. Aynun. Say aynun. Aynun jariyah. Aynun jariyah. So we see here the nun is not just by itself, it has tanween, right? So we're focusing on the tanween. So when a tanween comes before jim, we have ikhfa. So we have وَأَنْجَيْنَا min ju'. Aynun jariyah. Okay, the next one that we're going to do here is on the sheen. Sheen, we have anshara. Anshara. Ansharahu. Okay, so that's how it goes. But we're going to say anshara. The sheen is right there next to the noon. Okay, then we go on to the next one. Do we have any questions about that one? فَمَنْ شَاءَ. فَمَنْ شَاءَ. And if you were stopping here, for those who want to know, you wouldn't stop on a. You would pronounce that right there. You would say فَمَنْ شَاءَ. You wouldn't say فَمَنْ شَاءَ like we're doing now. I don't want people to get that wrong. So you say فَمَنْ شَاءَ. How long do you hold this? This is a mud. I'm giving you some preface to mudud. So this is, how long do you hold this? 4, because of the hamza, right? And because of adad al-sukun, because we're stopping right there, you can put it to 6. Okay, but if we're not stopping for that reason, if you're just going to recite it, it would be 4. Okay? You understand that? And the hafs. And I'm giving you the general rule for hafs. Okay, we want to stick to what is ma'ruf, what is well known. You know, there's some other things we can do, but we confuse the whole place. Okay, so we're going to keep it with the general rule. فَمَنْ شَاءَ. Very good, alhamdulillah. Next rule is شَيْءٍ شَهِيد. وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيد. See, that's why I stopped. شَيْءٍ شَهِيد. So here, it's easy. See, like if you practice a small one, when you get to it in the mushaf, you'll run through it. All you have to practice here is shay'in shaheed. Wallahu ala kulli shay'in shaheed. You see how it helps you out? So do the small parts here. And that's why I'm sticking to his book, because most of his book is in Juz Amma, whereas mine is all over the place, whereas most people won't read all over the place, but they will read Juz Amma. Okay? So, Shay'in Shaheed. Shay'in Shaheed. I'm going to erase, and we're going to do the rest of them off the board. Help me out, man. Yeah, I'm going to erase the whole board here so we can get this. Yeah, here you go. So I'm going to go over the rule again. The rules for Nun as-Sakin wa Tanween. للنون إن تسكن وللتنوين أربع أحكام فخذ تبييني فأول الإظهار قبل أحرفي للحلق 6 رتبت فلتعرفي همز فهاء ثم عين حاء مهملتان ثم غين خاء والثاني إدغام ب6 أتت في يرملون عندهم قد ثبتت لكنها قسمان قسم يدغم فيه بغنة بينمو علما إلا إذا كان بكلمة فلا تدغم or تدغم. Leave that other stuff. Leave that stuff right there. It's tudgham if you bunya ala majhul. It's built on just not knowing who said it. And it's tudghim if it's a fi'lun amr. It's an order. You know. فلا تدغم كدنيا ثم سنوان تلا. And then we have 4 words here. That's only 4 words in the Quran that come in one word that you're going to have that idgham rule broken. And that's bunyanun and sinwanun wa qinwanun. Right? ثم سنوان تلا. والثالث الإقلاب عند الفاء والثاني إدغام بغير غنة في اللام والراء ثم كررن. And he should have said here ثم لا تكررن. Then don't make the ra touch the top of your gums. You don't say arr. You don't say arr. But the tongue, the tip of the tongue in the ra never touches the usulul asnan. It never touches the gums. Okay? Arr, it repeats, it rolls, but it does say ra like rock. R never rolls, but though it does repeat. It repeats itself without touching. Say arr. Don't say arr. Don't say Rodriguez. Say arr. And the skill that you're trying to master here is not letting your tongue touch in the whole time when you're reciting that ra, whenever it comes. It's hard. Just say Ar-Rahman. See, so you keep that tongue, that tip of the tongue from touching. You understand me? As you look confused. Huh? Okay, good. That's good. No, but that's the skill. So at least you know what you're doing. When you're sitting there making faces, what am I doing? Make sure that ra doesn't touch. But you can do it in normal speech. If you're speaking normal, you can let it roll because it's not Quran. We're talking about in Quran. So you see people say, Quran. You can say that because it's normal speech. It's your speech. But if you're reciting it in Quran, you see that? Say Quran and don't let the tongue touch the top of your teeth. Touch it. Quran. You see how it is? It sounds a little different, doesn't it? Quran. You have to make your mouth big enough to accommodate that ra. And then that and afterwards. And this is the practice that I'm talking about, the practical application of that type of thing. We're losing Mirsad, our bodyguard. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. Alhamdulillah. Take care, bro. Inshallah. ثم كررنا والثالث الإقلاب عند الباء ميما بغنة مع الإخفاء. And then we know the إقلاب, it fits like أنبياء من بعد. And we see right here, this is noon coming, and after it's coming, that meme, a ba actually, so it flips into a meme. But what did I say? The thing to remember here is everything has got some lata'ib, some subtleties to it. The teeth, the tongue, I mean, what do you think it's called? The shafatek, yani, lips. Your lips, they close, but they keep really parted. They keep open slightly. Very slightly, and this was the opinion of Imam Husri. There is some difference of opinion on this issue. However, I tell you the honest truth, the difference of opinion is between Egypt and Syria. But if you trace the isnad from the Syrians, it goes back to Egypt. So who's the best person to follow? The Egyptians. Since they're the usul, they're the ones that got it. And all the best Qur'an, Asif, not trying to disrespect anybody, find that usul where? In Egypt, right? Jamzuri, where's it written? In Egypt. Al-Jazri, where's it written? In Egypt. So most of the Qur'an, where's Al-Husri, most famous, Al-Bidul Basit, all these guys are Egyptian, So, and their thing is to keep it slightly open. So you say, Anbiya. And so the lips only touch when you come out with the ba at the end of it. Okay? Anbiya. And the rule is, other people say they close it. They say close it, but don't make it idgham. If you close it, you've got idgham, meaning you've totally lost the noon. Anbiya, say it. If you close it, you've made idgham. Dakhala shay fi shay. You've entered that noon into it. This is the noon, this is the meat, it's gone. But if you got it in there like that, cover and conceal it, and then finally it goes, that's what's called. Now the next one, rabi'u. Now the fourth rule. إخفاء عند الفاضل. In the rest of the words, من الحروف واجب للفاضل في خمسة من بعد عشر رمزها في كلمة هذا البيت قد ضمنتها. We pulled it close. صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سمع ضم طيبا زد في تقى ضع ظالما. And that's where we are right here. We did أنشره, right? So we finished up to here, right? Yes or no? Maybe so. What? Okay, so now we're on qaf. Okay, we want people to be awake, man. You guys go sleep at home. I talk too fast. I'm sorry. You're right. I do probably talk too fast. Let me slow it down a little bit for everybody to understand what I'm saying. Now, I think they have the thing on the tapes. I think you could slow the voice down a little bit or something like that. Nah, I don't have that. Back in the days when some people used to DJ, they used to have the thing where you play the tape and you could speed it up or slow it down. So when
you watch it on the internet, you can't slow it down.
You can't? Well, you can watch it again. Okay, inshallah. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diss nobody, inshallah. Well, I'm going to try to speak slower. The thing here is, it's like we say, al-wajibat kathira wal-waqtul qalil. The obligations that we have are many, and it's very hard to get people to come. We've had a large class, and then we've had a small class, and we had a large class, and we have a small. It wavers because people get busy. And we're harsan, we're very, we really want you to get it. But you can only get it if you be consistent. So it's so much that we want to give you because everybody ain't going to tell you this stuff. We've been in this country all our lives, and half the people we met probably knew this stuff, but ain't nobody told us nothing. Why? Because that's your problem. So now that we've gotten some of it, we want everyone to share it and spread it out. Because there's a lot of da'wah out there on the internet. I've been looking recently and seeing there's a lot of stuff, and most of it is junk. When I say that it's junk, it's not that it's not true, some of that stuff. But there's a minhaj, and I keep saying this over and over again. People think I'm talking about minhaj Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I don't mean that type of minhaj. I mean the minhaj of studying, the order and the way you study is just as important of what you study. and in what order you study those things. Knowledge is by degrees. You know, one thing precedes the next thing. You can't tell me that you know what Tawheed is if you can't spell it. You don't know what scale it's on. You don't understand the word in its linguistic meaning. Then how can you understand it as a terminology? So it demands a certain level of education in some fundamental issues. Knowledge is naw'an. Knowledge is of two types. Knowledge of the utensils that you need in order to get more knowledge. So when you go to school, the first thing they teach you is they're not teaching you, they're institutionalizing you. They're training you. And after you train someone and they can do it like what just they don't know why they're doing it, then you start to teach them the why and the how. Well, you taught them how already. And then they fall back on their institutionalization. So we want to institutionalize these fundamentals. Reciting the Quran is one of the main and most important fundamentals. You can't do it without Arabic. You can't get it without getting it from a person. I don't care, even if you do watch the videos. You're going to eventually have to sit down with somebody who sat down with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by proxy. Do you understand what I mean by that? And they're going to have to say, no, my teacher didn't teach me that way. He didn't let me get away. There is no tasahhul. There is no ease and accommodation in the recitation of Quran. No one gets over because it's close. You either get it or you get out. That's it. The teachers don't have that type of room to give you to say, okay, you can recite it like that. It's wahyi. It's from Allah. And it came down in a certain way, and you have to recite it that way or it ain't Quran. Period, point blank. It ain't Quran. That's why it's so dangerous for people to put themselves up to lead the salah and they can't recite the difference between ayn and a. A or a. So they say an'amta or they say alamta and they change the meaning. You understand? It's very important. It's not something that you should take. You're talking about kalam Allah, the speech of Allah. But what if they're ignorant? Then there's some rule for the person who's ignorant, but you're not allowed to be ignorant for such a long period of time. You know? So if you're ignorant because there's no opportunity, but once there becomes an opportunity, you become obligated. Mukallif. Become obligated, right? So I say that because I'm sorry for talking fast, but there's so much I want to get into the lessons. And most of the time when the shuyukh were teaching us, the things that they taught us weren't what we went there for. We wanted the lesson. Give me just the black and white lesson. And they gave us all this ethics. You know? And that when we complained, they said that was the lesson. The other thing is the benefit. You know? The other stuff you get, that's plus. You know? But you came here to learn some ethics, some adab. As they story about the story of the people that studied with Imam Malik. They said we learned everything we needed from him in 2 years. We spent the other 18 years with him learning how to correct our souls. Learning good manners. I'm not saying that I'm like that. You know, I'm not saying that, but I have heard and I can pass it on to people who can do it better than I can. Insha'Allah ta'ala. So, moving right along. الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ الَّذِي the word with أَنْقَضَ. So we're saying أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ. But what we're worrying about here is أَنْقَضَ. Anqada. I pronounced it incorrect first. Anqada. Because it's da, this is the tal, you know, like that. So that's for the qaf right there. And the next one is, you know, Inna anzarnakum adaban qariba. No, I want this one. Fiha kutubun qayyima. Kutubun qayyima. Qayyima. Okay, there's a rule here. Sometimes you see the kasra under the shadda, right? Can you see this? Good on the computer thing? And people think that, okay, let me do this big. Qayyima. You say qayyima. Why is there a kasra under the shadda when we mean a kasra by it? Because the shadda is the rule. If we put it above it, then it's fatha. If we put it under it, it's kasra. Not that we have to put it under here. You understand? You can put it like that, but it's easier to put it right there, and it's acceptable, and that's what you find most of the writers doing. Okay? So just understand, that means kasra under the shadda. Okay? Everybody got that? Just again, some added benefit, insha'Allah ta'ala, liman dabat, for the one who is meticulous. Okay? So it says, kutubun qayyima. And don't mix up your qaf and your kaf. People get this all mixed up all the time. Kaf and qaf are two different letters. Kutubun qayyimah. The rule I try to show is this. Let's say this is my mouth. From here to here is my mouth, the inside of my mouth. It's like a valley, not a valley, the inside of a cave. Okay, a culled out cave is deep and huge, you know, those inside caverns. So in there, if I go up at this angle, that's calf. Say, kutubun. Now if I go back this way, it's the same angle. Qayyima. I'm going towards the uvulu, the big ball, the boxing ball that's hanging in the back of your throat. You're going towards that. That's for qaf. You're going towards the front at this angle, not outside the mouth, but towards the mouth. Kutubun qayyima. And you're going with the middle of your tongue this way and the middle of your tongue back that way. Kutubun qayyima. You got that? You got to just, grow. Laughing at me, Ibrahim. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Ain't no problem. You can laugh at me. إِنَّا أَنذَرْنَاكُمْ عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا قَرِيبًا عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا. Remember, don't make the sound that's coming mess up the sound that you came from, and don't let the sound that you came from mess up the sound that you're going to. Meaning, this is a letter, one of the sifat of ba is what? Fath. Ba, fatha, ba. Now, qaf has what? Itbaq. So, qaf, fatha, qa. عذابا قيما. عذابا قريبا. So you don't want to say adhaban, and you don't want to say adhaban qa, because you mess up the sound of the other one. So give each one of them its right. Adhaban qariba. You're going to the noon too fast. Adhaban qariba. Right, you see? If you go to the noon too fast, you hear it, and you're not supposed to hear the noon. You're not supposed to hear the noon so clear, and I don't want to practice it wrong. So anyway, it says seen. The next one is seen. Let me move along. Tansa. Here we have again the seen comes after the noon right there. Now we're going to go to the next one. It is min sijil. Min sijil. من سجيل عابدات سائحات. Let me write it for you. عابدات سائحات. عابدات سائحات. No, it's not hat, it's ha. That's ha, not ha. There's a big difference. Saihat. Unclick your fingers. The Prophet ﷺ forbade us from having our fingers clicked up in the masjids, waiting between the salah and anytime hawla salah. And between one salah to the next, you're in salah. عابدات سائحات. So this shows you have to have enough air in your lungs left to put that ha with strength. Okay? You know that. What do we notice? Every time you have a mud, there's a hamza. Don't you notice that? Yes. Don't you notice that? Yes or no? Well, notice it. Every time there's a mud, there's going to be a hamza. Most of the time. That's the general rule. If you learn that, you know a whole bunch. Okay? Either that hamza is going to be in the same word, or it's going to be in the next word following it, or that hamza is going to be before the letter of mud. And it's going to be either alif or waw or ya. Period. Point blank. Like here. Alladhi. This is a ya coming before a hamza. In two different words. So we make it four. Alladhi anqadha dhahrak. Alladhi أنقض. Because this is a ya right here and this is a hamza. Whether the hamza is riding on an alif or riding under an alif or has a dhamma, it don't make a difference if it's in the same word or not. Whenever a alif, waw, ya comes with a hamza afterwards, as long as that alif, waw, ya is not mutaharrik, meaning it doesn't have any vowel on it, it's preceded with a vowel, then that thing's going to be a mad. So ya is going to have a kasra, alif is going to have a what? What comes good for alif? Fatha. What comes good for waw? Dhamma. So whatever is suitable for it, that's what's going to be there. Then that, if a hamza comes after it or before it, it's going to be a mad. I'm preparing you because the next lessons is going to be on mudud. No, not the very next one, but that's the next thing. All right, next one is seen, but we're on dal now, okay? Dal is inda rabbihim. Inda. That's what we're going to do right there. The next one is وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. You see, you don't see no hamza, so it's no elongation, right? It's a short elongation. دَسَّاهَا. That's two. That's considered two. That's called meddu tabi'i, a normal med, which is two. Everybody say qala. That's a meddu tabi'i, a normal med. Okay, so man dassaha ma'in dafiq. Ma'in dafiq. What do we notice? Here goes a hamza after another alif. Whoa, what do we have there? Med. How long is the med? 4. So, or 5, but it's preferred to do 4. Ma'in dafiq. We have ta now. Yantiquna. Yantiquna. Then you say, فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى. I did it in wash. Let's do it in Hafs. What was it? فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى. طَغَى. Okay? In wash we say مَنْ طَغَى. But this in Hafs. Hafs says طَغَى. Okay? مَنْ طَغَى الْمَاء. مَنْ طَغَى. And it says شَرَابًا طَهُورًا. No, not bum. There's no bum. There's ba, fatha, ba. Sharaban. Okay? Because if you have to know sharaban, say this. Okay. No, by itself it's sharaban. Okay? Now when we add the next letter to it, the next sound to it, then it's going to change. Okay? Where am I at? What are we saying? Okay. Tahura. شرابا طهورا. شرابا طهورا. Because this is open. This is شرابا طهورا. You guys get that? Remember, in reciting the Quran, you always give each letter its proper pronunciation. Let's go on because we're getting late and I don't want to mess up this our other classes. أنزلناه. 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 So we have a noon coming after a noon coming before a zay, right? Then it says, Man zakkaha. Man zakkaha. A noon again coming for a zay, right? Say it again. Man zakkaha. Sa'idan zalaqa. Zalaqa. Sa'idan zalaqa. You're going to the noon too fast. Sa'idan zalaqa. No done. It's dal fatada. Kul. Dal fatada. There's no sa'ida. It's sa'ida. Say it. صعيدا زلقا. زلقا. So it's not laqa. This is qaf has the sound of itbaq. The lam has a sound of fat. Laqa. Zalaqa. You hear that? It's clear. Zalaqa. It's not zalaqa. That's wrong. Zalaqa. Sa'idan zalaqa. No, I'm hearing don. Sa'idan. Sa'idan. Say that. There you go. Sa'idan zalaqa. Somebody saying saw like sa. Saw. Make your mouth round. Saw. Saw. Like you say saw. You saw something, right? Or I saw him. Sa'idan zalaqa. No don. It's dan. Dan zalaqa. Dan zalaqa. Sa'idan zalaqa. No, it's not sa. Saw. It's over. You're saying it wrong. Saw. Sa'idan zalaqa. No, Sa'idan zalaqa. We used to have a teacher. This guy who was, subhanAllah, rahmahullah, Sheikh Ghannam. He used to listen to 7 qira'at, not 7 people reciting the Quran, 7 people reciting different types of Quran. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody's reciting Warsh, someone's reciting Susi, someone's right here saying Hamza, someone over here reciting Warsh. He's listening to all. He's correcting everybody in their proper recitation. We say, man, this guy is crazy. You know, I mean, he's not crazy. Rahimahullah, he passed away. But he was like that. He could hear. And he used to wonder how you can hear all these different sounds. But after you get used to it, it's like, the only way I can remember is like my older brother used to learn how to play the piano when we were children. You know, my parents had a piano. They taught him how to play piano. And he only learned how to play properly. So whenever he heard a mischord, it would shake his whole mentality. He couldn't stand to hear it. So it would sound out really horrible. And that's what it sounds like listening to you all sometimes. No disrespect, you know. But when you say it wrong, it's like it rocks your heart. You're like, no, where did that come from? You don't want to hear it, you know. And so that's what the purpose of learning how to recite is, so that you'll get so used to reciting it properly that your tongue doesn't do it except if it's right. And second, your ear gets so sensitive to hearing it right that when it hears it wrong, it finds it. Okay? So we want to do it right, inshallah ta'ala. We're on, what letter are we on? Zay, we're on fa right now. Okay, fa for ikhfa for family, the forms for we say, so we say, as-sama'u fatarat. As-sama'u fatarat. Do we know what this is? As-sama'u fatarat. 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 So the ta and the ra have a itbaq, but the fa is maftuh. I mean, when it was open mouth. Sama'un fatarat. ذلك من فضل الله. فضل الله. We have the rule of Lamb of Allah. Min fadlillah. So it's not fa, it's fa. Fa for ikhfa for family, the formulas for free. Say that. Fa for ikhfa for family, the formulas for free. Fa for ikhfa for family, the formulas for free. So you can say family, you can say fadlillah. No, it's not fad. It's not elma fad. There's no fad. It's fa. Fa for ikhfa. Say that. You guys have to stop. Leave your face alone. It prevents your jaw from moving. Fadlillah. The dot has the istital. Fadlillah. But you put it on the fa. Leave the fa alone. Min fadlillah. Right, but just don't make it a dal. Don't say min fadl. No, it's not dal. It's min fadl. Okay? You got to give it time for the mouth. The ends and the dad, the ends of your tongue and the tongue get wet. Okay, the whole end. Min fadlillah. You see it? You let it, and it pops out either side or both sides. So you say, min fadlillah. And the Lamb of Allah, is a unique word. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You don't say the Lamb of Allah the same way all the time. You say Kitabullah. Say that? Kitabullah. Right. But you say Billahi. You see that? So when it's a kasra, you say la. When it's a dhamma or a fatha, you say la. You understand it? It's called the Lamb of Allah. Allahu Akbar. Say it. Allah. You don't say Allahu Akbar. No, you sound crazy. Allahu Akbar. You know, I've seen some of that on some of the cartoons they make for the Muslims. And I was like, who did they get to do this? You know what I'm saying? But when it's a kasra, Bismillah. You don't say Bismillah. You say Bismillah. Min fadlillah. You hear the difference? Practice it. Put it down. After the fa, we have, where's the next one on the fa? We have A'ilan fa'agna. A'ilan. A'ilan fa'agna. No, not fa'agna. It's not ugly. It's fa'agna. Fa, fata, fa. Alif, fata, a. Fa'agna. Right, the ghain is the one that stops. Fa'agna. Right. A'ilan fa'agna. Right, how long is this one over here? How long is this? How long is this mud? 4. Wow, we're getting there, right? Ain't no questions about it. Now, what is happening? There's an alif there, and right after it has a hamza. So we know this rule, right? We're starting to know. We don't even know the rule yet. We start making mental notes. We pay attention. Attention to what? Details. What are details? Small things, like an alif comes after fatha with a hamza in the same word, or even not in the same word. We make it 4 count. A'ilan fa'agna. And yes, in wash, they make it 6. Yeah, you can. But, you know, if you're not reciting wash, you can't do that. And I wouldn't suggest for people to recite wash unless they have a teacher. Because there's a lot of rules, and if you do it wrong, you're not reciting wash. You're doing something else. Okay, so now, the next one is, I get to erase this now. Yeah, help me out. We got 3 more to do, or 4 more to do, and we're done with this rule, okay? So somebody recite to me the rule. You open up your notes, somebody recite to me the rule, the 4th rule of ikhfa. What is it? What are the letters of ikhfa? You should be able to know them real easy. In fact, you're going to, no, well, I don't know about that. Yeah. What are the letters of ikhfa? I can't hear you. MashaAllah. That person didn't say anything. Come on, what are the rules of the letters of ikhfa are really easy. Sif dha thana kam jada shakhsun qad suma dum tayyiban zid fi tuqa da' zaliman. Say it. Sif dha thana. كم جاد شخص no شخص قد سمع قد سمع. Don't look at me strange. We've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's in the poem. It's والرابع الإخفاء عند الفاضل من الحروف واجب للفاضل في 5 من بعد 10 رمزها في كلمة هذا البيت قد ضمنتها صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سمع ضم طيبا زد في تقى دع ظالما. And those, the first letter from all of those make up the letters of ikhfa. Sif dha thana kam jada shakhsun qad sama. Woo, subhanallah. We got Columbia Hospital up in here. Assalamu alaikum Musa. Qad sama dum tayyiban zid fi tuqa da' zaliman. So we did fa, now we have ta, dad, and dha. Real easy, right quick. The ta is, we're going to go here and says, فَأَنْتَ عَنْهُ فَأَنْتَ. Say, فَأَنْتَ. So that noon comes second, right after simple word. Everybody knows anta. That's one of the first words. Ana anta. Huwa, he, she. I forget the message. Huwa, he, whom. Right? So everybody knows anta. It means you. So you say, فَأَنْتَ. فَأَنْتَ عَنْهُ تَلَاهَا. Then he says, مَنْ تَزَكَّى. تزكى من تزكى. And then the third one would be نعمة تجزى نعمة تجزى تجزى. And so we have that one here. So نعمة تجزى نعمة تجزى. Walaikum salam. The next one is ضاد. مندود. مندود مندود وطلح مندود. I figured I'll put that part. Mandud. Okay, that's the, and the noon comes out right before the dad. The other one is min dari'. Min dari'. Okay, so the next one is, the last one is وَكُلًّا ضَرَبْنَا. وَكُلًّا ضربنا ضربنا وكلا ضربنا. You can understand that? Oh, okay, you can come over, it's cool. وكلا ضربنا ضربنا. Okay, now the last one, we're here in the ينظر سبحان الله ينظرون ينظرون ينظرون. The difficulty that I'm having, because I want to recite the portion of the ayah, but I don't want to make that difficult on you. على الأرائك ينظرون. Okay, but I just want you to focus on ينظرون. So I get tongue twisted because the tongue again wants to recite the first part, right? So we're just going to focus on the noon sakina when it comes right before the dha. Yanzuruna. Yanzuruna. The next one is قال أما من ظلم من ظلم من ظلم. Noon sakina comes before a dha. Even though it doesn't make a difference if the letter is moving. If any of the noon sakina or tanween comes before a letter of ikhfa, then you pronounce that dha, that noon. You say man zalama, man zalama, wa nudkhiluhum dhillan dhalilan, dhillan. Say dhillan, dhalilan. So now the way we would do that here is dhillan dhalilan. Okay, dhalila. So dhillan dhalila. Remember, you're fading it into this one over here. You're going with this noon a second just to show you. You're not going to say the noon. That's what you're saying here. Dhillan, right? It's as if you're saying dhillan, right? Everybody see that? Let me do it over here. Just as the last part, because we're about to offer salah. So it says dhilla, and it says tanween. But really what you're doing is you're saying dhillan with a noon right there, right? And the next letter after that is dhalil. Now, dhalila, right? Dhalilan. However, this has become noon sakina, tanween, noon sakina, right before the. So you don't pronounce this noon, so right there, you fade it in. You take this period of time to gradually get to that noon, and you never really get to it clearly before you pronounce out with the sound. That's the fade in part right here. You see the action here? So you're saying, I'm sorry, it should be mushaddid. So by proxy, you're saying dhillan dhalilan. You see that? You're taking the noon sound and stretching it out over here, but not clearly pronouncing it. Baina idha wa idgham. It's baina idha, which is say dhillan, and idgham, which is dakhala shay fi shay. Saying it independent as a noon, or stretching it out, fading it into the idgham, into the dha, the sound of the dha that's coming, or whatever the sounds that we have pronounced there from sif dhathana kam jada shakhsun qad sama dum tayyiban zid fi tuqa da dhaliman. So we say dhillan dhalila. You see that? Dhillan. You see that? And you have two counts to do it. You can't do dhillan. That's incorrect. How many counts you have? So you have a little bit of time to get to that va or whatever letter. وَكُلًّا ضَرَبْنَا. You see that? نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى. The same action. It's taking that noon sound and stretching it over within the course of 2 sounds between idhar and idgham, fading it into without ever fully establishing the noon sound as in idhar. Right when you get to put the dot on the noon, you come with the new letter. Ni'matin. I'm not saying, I'm saying ni'matin. No, I don't get to that noon. I say ni'matin tujza. Right when I'm about to say noon, I put the next letter in there. You guys got me? Okay. The other one, we say man tazakka. Instead of saying man, now this is when it's just stretching it out. It's as if I'm going like this. So I'm just stretching it out, not really pronouncing it. Man tazakka. You see how we stretch it out over the course of 2 counts right there. Man tazakka. And that's what we're doing throughout the whole rules of ikhfa. Stretching that sound over the course of 2 sounds, not making the noon sound permanent. Whenever it comes before any one of these letters, what's upon you, after we've done all of this right here, what's upon you to do is to memorize. If you only just memorize the rule, وَالرَّابِعُ الْإِخْفَاءُ عِنْدَ الْفَاضِلِ مِنَ الْحُرُوفِ واجب للفاضل في 5 من بعد 10 رمزها في كلمة هذا البيت قد ضمنتها صف ذا ثنى كم جاد شخص قد سما ضم طيبا زد في تقى ضع ظالما. You'll be ready when you go find that sheikh. You don't never know who might be a sheikh, especially here in America. You don't know who's here might have something that you need. You find out this person has an isnad to his teachers, to his shuyukh, going back to the Prophet ﷺ, or the tabi'een, or the tabi'een, or some mufti. Then you go, you sit with that person, you're ready now to take the lesson, as opposed to what we used to do, is that person teach you something, and then when they're gone, you have to start all over with somebody else, because you don't know what you have. And the other person doesn't have any firm primer that he can say, okay, I'm going to start again with that person at where he left off, or let me review with you what you learned. Right? Because everybody has something they can pull out with. But if you study a classic, I don't care if you're from West Africa, or you're from East Africa, or you're from Zimbabwe, or you're from, what do you call it, Bangladesh, or Saudi Arabia, the classic is the same. The teaching of the classic may be different, but the classic is the same, and so the ma'lumat, the facts will be the same no matter where they come from. And that is the reason why we study these classics. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Now it's time for the adhan.